Hey there guys, it's Longridr, and today I will be bringing you a Far Cry 5 arcade map editor tutorial. And for this video we'll be covering terrain, and I'll just show you a few different ways that I like to go about creating like background, mountains, and then maybe some cliffs, and we'll see what else we get to, maybe like a river or something. I'll also go over the basics, maybe kind of explain a little bit of what each tool does, what its original purpose is for, and then a different way to use it than what is normally thought of, I guess is what I'd say. Let's begin. Okay, first things first, I'll go through a few of the tools. Right here we have the bump tool, which is pretty self-explanatory. You hold down the left click button or the right trigger to create like a nice little hill. You can raise the hardness to create more of a flattened top, make it look more like a plateau, and you can change it to a square even, if you're going for that Minecrafty pyramid type effect. Makes some interesting shapes. And right here we have the raise and lower tool, which is more of a precise kind of grab and pull up. It works almost the same way as the bump tool, but you can choose what height you want it at. So if you want to if you just click, go around, it'll set everything to the same height. You can even it out. Adds for some interesting effects like so. Quick and easy. The flatten is to create a surface that is even on the top. So we have this here. Grab the flatten tool and hold right trigger and drag, or left click and drag on PC. And it's also a good way to create a ramp tool by holding control. It just gets lower and lower. As you can see here, it's almost like a slide effect. Right here we have the ramp tool, which is basically we click one area, click another area, creates a nice little ramp up to that area that you can walk up. Unless it's too steep, then it wouldn't work. And for consoles, it's right trigger and then right trigger again at the bottom. And here we got this terrain set to height. It's very useful. So if you don't like where your map is at initially, you can choose to set it to a distance. So I'll just say 95 for here, and raise it all the way up, hardness and speed, and then you can just set it to whatever height you like so. Gives you more options, because the closer you are to the ground, the less you can lower your terrain and create those visual landscape effects. I'll get to that smooth tool in a second. Right now, this is the noise tool. And for this one, there's a few different ways you can use it. Like roughness makes it really sharp. So here's 0 roughness. It adds more of like a layered effect instead of a bump effect. And if you turn the roughness all the way up, it'll create like almost a scenic horror movie landscape. So you have to really be lenient on how much you use this tool. But if you want to get rid of this, there's a few things you can do. One, just don't put that much roughness on it, and the other is to smooth. So the smooth tool works and makes everything kind of pull together and flow. I like to set the speed up a little bit to begin with. And it's nice to have a huge circle over this already. You just click it and boom. And now it looks like actual mountains. Where it was once a bunch of teethy looking land masses, now it's a nice little, don't even know what this is. It's nice though. Okay, and here we have the erosion tool. You can set the radius to whatever you want it to be, and just like the others, there's an easy way to like raise and lower this amount of space it takes up just by holding shift and dragging forward or back on the computer to create a wider square and radius to work with. So the erosion tool kind of adds that little aging factor to terrain, which I like to use in a lot of my maps. And there's a few ways you can use it. Landslide is kind of like the speed factor, and you have to have this to do erosion. So just set it at whatever you want. If you want to just get it over with quick, set it all the way to max. Deformation kind of makes it so it pulls less at the bottom. It will take a while longer for it to like process, but as you see there, it's just pulling down, nothing from the bottom. And when it's all the way up, it really ages it and everything starts pulling up, and it looks like a plateau in the end. So if you just hold it down for a while, it'll finally create one almost smooth type of mountain look. Now we have a very detailed mountain just from the click of a button. And when it started out looking like that. So now we'll go over a few of the methods that I use to create terrain in my maps. Okay, so if you want to create like a low to the ground type of mountain that you'd see probably near the base of the Rocky Mountains, this is a really quick way to do it. You just take the bump tool, bring it up a little bit to where it's like the shape of a mountain. You can look at it from the ground to get perspective. There we go. It's a quick point. Basic bump mountain. And then we can take the noise tool, and I like sticking it on raise only, and then putting the radius up a little bit. There we go. And then just press it for just the slightest amount. There we go. And now it's a very rugged looking mountain that you could probably do a lot with. And this is just a very basic method. And on the PC, if you hold the control, it'll do lower instead of raise. So if you want to just add some other small details, so it's not all just one flux mountain. There you go. And then what I like to do next is grab the erosion tool, and this will add even more age to the mountain. So I'll go above it, put the radius to just about, let's say 50 will work, and then distortion, we'll leave that down for now and just let it go like this. And there we go. And now we have an almost Rocky Mountain looking mountain right there. Which is almost perfect for use in any background of a map. And if you want, you can go back through and redo these methods a few times to add the roughness and draw to the mountain. Then you can bring the noise tool and add a little bit, just don't hold the mouse for that long, but give it a little more texture. And this will help later when you're painting the mountain, so that way you have different parts that are like at more of an angle. Okay, there we go. That's method number one, just a really simple way to create a pretty detailed mountain. Okay, method two is a bit different. Instead of doing bump tool the way you'd expect it to be used, we can stick the hardness all the way up. Speed, we'll put it at about 0.5. Go about half. And this might take a little bit more time, but you'll see as I'm doing it, you want to bring it to a peak. And then you just hold the trigger or left click if you're on PC. And then you'll create this almost disc-like effect at first, but you want to create a little peak in the middle, so the more it touches the middle, it'll raise. So let's see how this turns out. There we go. And now this was the disc method. You could do a few different things from here to add to the effect. I like to stick erosion on it because having that aged mountain effect is really nice because it spreads out at the bottom and stays kind of rough at the top. There we go. Another Rocky Mountain looking type thing in a quick few seconds of the yield left click or right trigger. And now you can do the opposite effect, doing the exact same method with a smaller radius bump, and it might add little small details to your mountain that you might be missing that might have lost using erosion. Okay, and this final method that I'll be showing is a bit different. We'll want to use the terrain set to height tool, and then we'll go get the terrain. I think it's at 110, but hold control, click, it is at 110. And control, if you use that with a terrain set to height, it just grabs the height of whatever you're clicking or whatever area you're at, and then boom, creates a small flat surface at wherever you're touching. Okay, so this final method is a bit different. We'll be using the terrain set to height tool this time, and we'll want to bring it up at least probably Well, to 150 we'll say. How does that look? Okay. We'll go a little bit higher than that. Let's say 180. Okay, that's just about right. Whoop, don't know what happened there. And then from here, we'll grab the ramp tool. I know it sounds kind of strange, but this will be a pretty good method if you want to get that really Rocky Mountain looking look. And then you'll click near the edge, and then bring it out a little bit. And there we go. It might look like a wall of some kind to you right now, but believe me, it'll come together. And so you just start clicking all around it. Okay, and then from here, you can make it a little bit smaller. I'd say about 6. And then click at the top point of these ridges and bring it down. And there we go. We just used the ramp tool to create an almost eroded looking mountain itself. And from here you can do many things. I still like the erosion tool. It's probably my favorite thing to do on terrain once I'm near done. So I'll just make it a little bit bigger than the mountain itself. Is that about right? Yeah, I believe so. Hey, it almost looks like a snowflake. There's an idea. And have all these at max and just click on the top for maybe 3 seconds and boom. Another nice mountain that resembles something you'd see in the Rocky Mountains or Montana even. And then if you want to add a few final touches, like maybe make the top more pointed, you can use the bump tool. Bring it to about a bit smaller than that. There we go. Raise that and then come around on these. And there we go. Now it's a pointy mountain. Well, I guess I have to end it there. I hope to see you in the next one. That's where we'll be going over painting the mountains and making a cliff to kind of complement the mountains, and then a river as well, and then like stuff in between. So I'll see you there. Have a good one.